Nadia here, My Great Challenge. Welcome back. This is episode 2 in my DIY fail door handle shenanigan, and it's a big fail. I said I was going to come back and update you. It's not working. So I'm going to tell you why it's not working, and that way everybody knows it's not working. So let me show you what the issue is, and I'm going to keep this really short. I don't think this video is going to be more than 10 minutes. So initially, hold on, where is my stuff? Right here. So to recap, I have these that are antique, probably 1910, maybe even earlier, Mercury 8-point star, possibly from the Sandwich Factory, Massachusetts. Glass handles with brass caps. Okay, and they're really cool, and I found a whole bunch of them, and I wanted to replace the doorknob. But here's the cat. I wanted to replace the doorknob in my house because my house was built in the 1920s, and I figured it would work. The issue is that the hole that I have here on those doors was too big. So when you put the thing in, and the mechanism here does work, you can see that it is moving the whatever you call it. So I could open and close the door. That's not the issue. The issue is that the hole, they bore a hole that's too big. So I bought new rosette, that's what they call them, because this thing here was just too small. So I bought these, and I was like, you know what, they're not super pretty, but it's gonna work. So these are 3 inches, they're a little bit bigger, so they would cover the hole. They're a little bit too big, but they cover the hole, and they would allow me to get a screw toe-nailed in at an angle to cover the thing. But the problem is that this doesn't fit in the hole. I can't get this thing to fit in the hole. It fits in this hole. It doesn't fit in this hole. So one other thing that I tried to do was, okay, can I force it in? Because it's really less than 1 millimeter. So I put one in, I screwed it in, and I figured, you know what, let me put a big piece of foam on this, and I'm gonna hammer it in and see if I can try to force it in. And all it did was, you know, deform the whole thing. If I really wanted, if it was that important to me, which really it is not, the only way I would be able to do it, apart from obviously either changing the door, would be to take this part out. I'm telling you how to do it, which I'm not going to do because it's not worth my time and effort. Would be to take this entire part out, fill in the hole with a piece of wood, glue the whole thing, sand the whole thing, and rebore a new hole with the appropriate size, so you could fit those in with the same mechanism, but you would have to fit in a hole that I think is 1.75 or not even 2. So I would have to take that out, plug it in, sand, repaint, and all of that. It's not worth the effort. If you're really interested in doing this kind of job and having your doors, if you have old Victorian doors, for instance, in your house, and somewhere along the line in the 70s, for instance, they removed the old handles, the original handles, to put new modern handles, and as a result they had to bore bigger holes. But you want to keep the doors, and you want to bring back Victorian stuff. That's what you would have to do. You would have to remove the mechanism, fill in the holes, and rebore a new hole, the size that would fit this. I'm not going to do that. Why? It's not worth it to me. It's time consuming, and it's just, those doors are not great doors. I don't live the original to the house. They are plain wood, but they're not pretty doors. And one of the things that I don't like about those doors, I'm gonna move the camera down. I don't know if you can see, is that very obviously there's been periods of time in this house where there was carpeting. And if you remember, well, you probably don't remember, because I did that when we moved in and I didn't have YouTube at the time. So there was carpeting in this room. There was like a blue carpet in this room. So all of the doors in this house on this floor were shaved at the bottom to allow for carpet. So they are all 1.5, if not 2 inches above the ground, which is unacceptable. So technically, I should really have a threshold, a wood threshold underneath every single one of them. Hi, matey. Okay. I don't like having that hole underneath the doors. So it's a big fail. I cannot install those. So what I'm gonna do is put up for sale on Etsy the 3 that are in perfect condition. I have 3 other ones that have dings and scratches and chips. I'm not gonna sell those, but I have 3 that are in absolute pristine condition. So those, they will be put up for sale on Etsy at some point. Or maybe I'll keep, I don't know. I gotta think about it. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with them. And I can't keep the porcelain ones because they're all cracked. So yeah, it didn't work. So what am I doing instead? Well, I'm gonna put the old one back on, and I'm taking advantage of Prime Day this week, and because now that I've really hyper focused on the fact that none of the handles on this floor are matching, I'm going to take advantage of Prime Day on Amazon, and I'm going to order handles for the entire floor that are all matching. I have a light fixture on my ceiling that is brushed nickel in silver, so I'm going to get brushed nickel silver handles. They're actual handles, not knobs. And I'm gonna replace all of them. So that's gonna be in one of my future videos. You'll see that as a getting things done, not a standalone video, because that's boring stuff. And that would be it. So sometimes you get involved in a project and it's a big fail, it's a big dud, it doesn't work, you just move on. All right, I've learned something. I've been replacing doorknobs so many times throughout my life, mostly in New York City. Every time I changed roommates or changed apartments, I had to change locks and doorknobs. So I'm very familiar with the process. I really thought this was gonna work, and I was not intimidated with it. I'm just kind of bummed out that it didn't work out, and very disappointed that the holes right here did not match. They are almost the same. I'm telling you, it's a millimeter. And I don't want to be bothered with all of the extra work. It's not worth the time. They are pretty, they are really beautiful. I would love to have them, but to do this kind of work on doors that I know I'm gonna have to replace eventually because I don't like those doors, it's not worth it for me. So that's my update. Disappointing, but I can move on and live with it. So I will see you in the next video. It happens, no big deal. Talk to you later. Bye.